So far we have, so if you see the tree of, the entrepreneurial activities at UOH, TAIU is at is the mother for, the department of all these activities. So we already having skill development centers, entrepreneurship development cells, and patent cells. In addition to that, in 2010 onwards, we have started TBI, Technology Business Incubator, and 2012 Technology Incubation and Development of Entrepreneurship Cell. And recently in 2017, we have started BioNest Bio Incubator. So what is our vision is an inclusion to become an inclusive resource center for innovation and technopreneurship. So by connecting industry professional bodies, by giving incubation space, by assisting them with seed fund, and having collaborations with university faculty as well as industry. So because when it comes to university, so now University of Hyderabad ranked the fourth best university in India. So where our major focus is on research and development. So we are our strength is R&D. So now we will collaborate. I mean, we will allow the people to collaborate with our faculty to develop the new, verticals, especially come to the products or technologies. So this is our phylogeny. So we're University of Hyderabad. This is the organizational structure of our activities over here. So we have created a Section 8 company, Aspire, under TIU. So where the board of directors will govern the function of Aspire, and three incubation centers under Aspire, like Technology Business Incubator and Technology Incubation and Development of Entrepreneurship, and Bionest is there. So and the manpower will every day they govern the activities of these incubation centers. So what are the activities of our incubation centers at University of Hyderabad is we adopted two models. One is pre-incubation and one is incubation. So the pre-incubation, any student or basically come up with an nascent idea, we will train them how to make it as a business plan, or make it as a commercial prototype by incubating and by providing a plug and play environment. So while during this incubation time also, we'll provide technical mentoring and networking support to up to the graduation stage also. So the salient features of our incubation centers at UOH. So we have we have created more than 40,000 plus square feet plug and play environment, and we have provided state of art infrastructure for life sciences and pharma sectors. And we have a capacity of inducting 50 plus startups at any given point of time. So, and we have complete access to common facilities of university and all other amenities of incubation centers. And we have a dedicated patent and tech transfer cell, so any startup can avail these facilities from University of Hyderabad. And the advantage for any startup who incubated at University of Hyderabad is they can have collaborations with our faculty. So if you see most of the faculty, they have their own research programs, and you can see each and every corner of life sciences. I mean, if you see, for example, in life sciences field, School of Life Sciences, so we have more than 60 plus faculties who are working in multiple disciplines. So any faculty, any startup who is looking for, collaboration, so they can go and collaborate with the faculty. So coming to the Technology Business Incubator, this program is originally supported by NSTEDB, Department of Science and Technology, and we started our this program in 2010. And we have 60,000 square feet of plug and play incubation space for startups. And so far we have incubated 15 startups in the areas of pharma, biotechnology, and renewable energy. And two startups have graduated from TBI so far, and nearly 2 to 4 technologies have been ready for commercialization. In that, one technology now reached to production stages, and nearly 10 patents were filed, and nearly 4 patents were granted so far. To date, and Technology incubation and development of entrepreneurs. So this is one more program where University of Hyderabad started in the year 2012 with support of the Department of Information Technology. This is exclusively for information technology, electronics, and communication technology. So I mentioned in the previous slides, Manjeera Digital Systems, who is a ex-faculty of this university, has started his firm. So now we incubated under this program, and we assisted with the seed fund, with seed fund. So far we have disbursed nearly 88 lakhs as seed fund to the maximum tune of 24 lakhs. So two startups has reached to Series B level funding stage, and one patent was awarded for this one startup, Manjeera Digital System. And recently in 2017, Department of Biotechnology has supported to establish one more incubation center, bio incubator, exclusively for life sciences. So we have 20,000 square feet plug and play environment in this incubation center. So far, we have incubated 20 plus startups. And recently, during this COVID-19 period, so nearly 4 startups have started working on COVID-19 related project, which was supported by Government of India. So we have other activities like, pitching sessions, awareness programs, trainings, workshops, investors meetings. So all these we are giving like well-connected package to the startups. They can meet investors also, so to raise their funding opportunities. So our goals is we are trying to enhance our incubation activities in the next few years by providing not only the incubation space but also by providing technical mentorship. So we are aiming to provide to create a growth phase corridor for graduated startups as well as for established firms also. That is like a research park kind of thing. So ultimately, we want to create a vibrant ecosystem for innovation and entrepreneurship in the region. So this is all about our activities at University of Hyderabad. So now I will open up to if you have any doubts related to activities. I'm ready to share my views on that one. So I will ask my organizers see whether can open up for any doubts.
There is one question, sir.
Yeah.
We know due to this corona pandemic, many startups affected badly. Will the government announce a package helpful to sustain?
Yeah, very good question. So if you recently see the announcement by Government of India, so already they announced a few packages, both, tax exemptions basically. They reduced most of the, income tax also. It's already there. Now they extended the timelines also for a further period of 1 year, I think so. So this is one incentive. So the second thing is, we need to be, any startup need to be like in a camel. So there is a saying that when there is recession kind of thing, you have to, startup needs to behave like in a camel. Camel will sustain even in the hard times also. So startups also needs to look into that kind of possibilities. But certainly government has already announced a few incentives and few relaxations to the startups. It's already there in. If you want, in detail, I can give you the list of the things in by email also. They can approach me. I can provide the things also.
Sir, one more question. How to boost the morale and confidence of the startups which are badly hit by the COVID pandemic?
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. So in a desert, if you see where there is no water, camel will survive over there. How it get adapted to that conditions. So now we need to create the chances. See, suppose for example, health sector. I mean, all the verticals got affected, but health sector or pharma sector, I mean, it's not badly affected. So they took this pandemic as an advantage to multiply their activities. In similar way, we need to adopt these kind of technologies. I mean, so if you can collaborate, if I am very well at artificial intelligence, if I go and approach for a supply chain management solution for a startup who is working in uh, pharma sector, that will be an additional, I mean, additive for the pharma sector. So meanwhile, this startup who is working in artificial intelligence, they can keep up their working conditions forever. So like that, we need to find the opportunities wherever we can do that. So the people now, if you see the agriculture sector in India, it's badly hit due to this pandemic because we don't have a proper supply chain management for agri sector, especially the post harvesting mechanisms or the products needs to I mean to the reaching to the market levels. There is no enough marketing strategies for this one. So if you can work out on these kind of mechanisms, yes, definitely we can reach within short time, so we can reach to the market levels.
So one more question is that after COVID-19, what is the position of Indian economy?
As I told you, not only why India, so entire globe, if you see that it's badly hit so far. It will take at least, I'm talking, we need to see in the two levels. One is at industry level, one is at society level. Industry level, maybe they will create opportunities. I mean, so in next 2 to 3 months to take it to the normalcy. But when it comes to the societal level, it will take minimum 1 to 2 3 years as a normal, if you want to see the normal flow of economical status. Even in India also, it will take minimum 1 to 2 years to restore the normalcy, economic normalcy.
Uh, how to go along with virus after lockdown, sir?
Pardon? Can you repeat?
How to go along with virus after lockdown?
Good question. So let me tell you. So about little signs of this virus. Corona is already an existing virus. It's not a. I mean, the whatever we are seeing, the COVID-19 is a new strain in that one. So all these influenza in this corona group, so there are 2 to 3, I mean, major virus like influenza and SARS, MERS. So these are the various types of viruses are there. Uh, Corona is one among them. I mean, COVID-19, so which is a new strain. So maybe people are saying it's a genetic. So origin is like from animals, but we are not yet came into a concurrence that it is really genetic or something else. So we need to study deep into that one. So it will take much more time. So, and second thing, antivirals for this pandemic or vaccine for this virus, it is maybe we can expect in a 1 year time from this date onwards. Because generally, if you see the gestation period for any drug discovery program or any vaccine development, it is more than 10 years. Even though if you start doing work on Warfoot levels, so it will take a minimum 2 to 3 years. This is my expectation and my belief. So then we need to adapt ourselves that how to live with this coronavirus. So we need to maintain the very fundamental thing is we need to maintain the personal hygienic conditions. So only prevention at this moment, prevention is is the only method to avoid the widespread of this virus and get away from this virus. So if we can maintain these personal hygienic conditions as directed by Government of India, so already they have certain guidelines how to maintain the working areas, how to maintain the industry, how to maintain the educational organizations, then at least we can prevent for a moment until the vaccine or drug, a specific drug comes into the market.
So last question. Unique products make a startup to grow quickly in the market, whereas the rivalry in between the companies producing same product in the market makes really challenging for the newly started company. What is your opinion on this?
Yeah, see, if I want to develop a product, suppose if I have a mobile, if I want to develop a mobile, so a market is already there for mobile. There is a huge number of players over there. So now what I need to do that one is I need to find some aspects related to incremental innovations. So if I work on that one, so for the existing products, how can I make it as much more better product? Then I will have a much more marketing capacities. I can easily penetrate into the market. Those products will always will have a marketing potential for that one. Our disruptive innovations will always have an marketing potentials. So that's why we need to adopt new technologies if you want to have if we want to stand better in the market. So let's focus more on adopting the new technologies. Then we will have a wonderful market strategy for any startup.
Sir, last question. Good afternoon, sir. Could you tell us the kind of support you got from the university for your incubation center?
It's a good question. So, see, there are now announcement every year. There is an announcement for new incubation centers or accelerators. Not only incubations, even accelerators or center of excellence. So there are various programs by DST, by Atal Innovation Mission, by Department of Information Technology, and even MSME. Now the latest is MSME. MSME is directly supporting even the productions also. So, I mean, by creating an incubation centers at educational institutes. So, I think now this is more and more important for engineering student, I mean, colleges to adopt either incubation centers or acceleration centers to promote the entrepreneurial culture in the campus. So if you need any such kind of help in filing, so in establishing these incubation centers, yes, we are ready to help you people.
Okay, sir. The last question. Out of 15 startups, how many have become unicorn?
I can't say unicorn is it is too early. So now they reach to production level. I will tell you what exactly so they have done is. So one in life sciences sector, basically in pharma sector. So I can say 2 to 3 startups they are doing very good. So they started their operations in our TBI Technology Business Incubator in the year 2010. One company actually they came up with an idea to develop a few anti-cancer molecules. So they have a library of compounds. So I can say 1,000, 2,000 molecules in their library. So they want to screen that compounds on various types of cancers. Ultimately, they found that there is a difficulty in coming up with the solutions, but they can't sustain. So with these kind of programs, so immediately they changed their goal to APIs, active pharmaceutical ingredients. So it's already market is there for APIs. Now, how can we make it as more cost effective? In such lines, they have think about it and they adopted new technologies like using green chemistry. So green chemistry is, suppose if you see the pharma industry, so there is a huge usage of chemicals for that. Due to that, we are facing a lot of pollution problems, and even government is not allowing to take up those kind of challenges. So our startup has adopted new technology like green chemistry using biology system. Suppose if I want to make a molecule, a drug molecule, so generally there will be a series of reactions. So to get the final product. In between, if I see that few reactions, I can use it bacteria or some other system to convert that product to the next product without using any chemical. So then I will reduce the cost of production as well as a new technology get into the system. So like that, those people they have already developed for prostaglandins. Prostaglandins are the molecules which have an inflammatory and anti-inflammatory role in the human body. So for that, they have developed a technology using this green chemistry. So now the laboratory prototype, everything is worked out. Now they are testing in the commercial prototypes. So this now they raise nearly 100 crores of investment. So for this scaling up the process. So now still they need to go into the market. Maybe in 6 months I can tell that whether they really hit the market or not. But they reach it to the next line. That's what.
Okay. Thank you, Ramakrishna sir. Now I request Dr. Rashekar to view concluding remarks of the session.
So thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Go ahead.
Sir, thank you very much, sir.
It's my pleasure.
Lecture, which is truly more impressive. What about during the COVID and the post-COVID also? What about the impact of that?
Okay.
Regarding human resources and technological point of view, industrial point of view. Okay, in all funding related, in all dimensions we explained in a meaningful way that is. We are very thankful to you, sir. During the lecture, somewhat disturbance was taking place, so I am extremely sorry for that.
Yeah, I'm really sorry for that. Even for me, this portal is very first time.
We accepted our invitation.
Okay.
And you highlighted a variety of dimensions.
Okay.
What about post-COVID? And what about the challenges and opportunities? What type of opportunities there are? What type of challenge you have to meet? The business scenario. We explained it. We thank one more time. We are very thankful to you, sir. And we are very thankful to our participants also because they. During the lecture also, interruption was taking place. So in this regard also participants somewhat think in a different way. So we are extremely sorry for that. And we are very thankful to our principal sir, R&D dean, and deans and HODs, and faculty members, and our center team members, and participants. Okay, we are very thankful to each and everyone. So tomorrow is the last session. There is a session will be leading by Dr. Subrata Shahu, who is the head official in Patents and Design Office in New Delhi. Okay, then he explained he has to lead the IPR, intellectual property rights and significance. What type of significance that we have and post-COVID. We have to explain now that in such a dimension. So once again, we are very thankful to each and everyone. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Rashekar sir. Thank you, Ramakrishna sir, for giving a complete insight picture about the COVID-19, after COVID-19, how about the startups and entrepreneurship will prevail in Indian context. So I thank once again for your excellent lecture. So tomorrow,
thank you. So in future, definitely I will visit your college and maybe I want to interact with you people personally also. So definitely we will look forward to meet you people in future, near future.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your beautiful words. So we also will keep in touch with you, sir.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Tomorrow, as Dr. Rashekar told, Subrata Sahu, so he will be giving an intellectual property rights. So that will be finally beneficial program from all these 3 plus added IPR program. Ultimately, we need to go for patents and how the different types of patents are available in our Indian context and internationally. So tomorrow again we will come with one more beautiful lecture. Thanks to all participants for sharing the screen today. And I thank our resource person Ramakrishna Garu and convener Rashekar Garu and our Dean R&D Dr. E. Krishna Rao Garu and our principal Dr. K. Apparao Garu. Thank you, Anandal.
Thank you, sir.
Now
Thank
I
you,
am
sir.
closing the session, sir. Thank you.
Okay, I'm signing off.
Science mobile app currently have 18,000 subscribers in India and also in 12 other countries. We are looking for experts like you who can deliver an expert talk for 15 to 20 minutes in your current research area. Or you can also present your profile so that interested collaborators will approach you for consultancy, research progress, or academic collaboration. Just accept our invitation, so that you broadcast your video in the appropriate groups and also in mobile app with timely notification to all the users. This helps to share the knowledge to the required students, scholars etc. Prepare the PPT content and recorded video with any screen recorder software or simply send your selfie video mentioning your expertise, so that we broadcast that video to the users. As said, this will help generating new research collaborations, presenting your work, sharing your ideas and also publicizing your expertise and skills. Please see the video is of 10 to 15 minutes. We look forward for your positive response. Contact us today. Thank you.